News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
Delonte West might be a name you recognize if you were ever a super big.
Well, he didn't need.
Yeah.
I don't know, but does he need the D?
He needs half the D.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah. So, Whitman, my thing is if your name is Andre, our work is done in the ethnicity department. We don't need a DeAndre.
I would agree with that.
If your name is Sean, then we need a Deshaun. You see what I mean? So I got no problem with the Deshaun's, but the Andres save the D's for Todd Gurley. Then we get the Todd Gurley.
You'd be amazed. Sometimes the addition of just one consonant and one vowel can change everything in your day.
So this is
This is Delonte.
Delonte.
Yeah, he played for everyone. He was a Celtics, Supersonics, Cavaliers, Mavericks.
Athlete?
Yeah, former NBA player. And he has had his share of troubles over the past 10 years, really fallen on some bad times. Now fans and some NBA players are begging the NBA to help him out. The 36-year-old...
Oh, the homeless.
Yeah, 36-year-old in recent years has been begging for money on the streets. Appears in a new video, which shows him getting beaten up. I'm not going to show you that video. In the middle of the street in D.C. by an unknown attacker. And that one's pretty brutal. But another video, apparently taken after the beatdown, shows him sitting on the curb, handcuffed and ranting about some guy coming up to him with a gun. Many people are asking for the NBA to intervene. It becomes a little bit unintelligible at the end, but here's the video.
Boy, you know, I don't know how the apocalypse works, but I got to hop on Twitter and watch videos of like homeless people raping other homeless people. That was a video that was on she's being raped. And then the guy who shows up next starts beating on her because that's her boyfriend and wants to know why she's being raped. Like at some point, here's my point to all the mayors and all the cities and all the governors and all the states. What shall we have? Just human sacrifice, like literally throwing fetuses into volcanoes? Like where do we have to get to before there's some serious intervention here?
Tell us now where the line is.
People are being just beaten and raped, and there's scurvy and typhus and everything's bad. We're medieval times now.
I try to be a voice of reason.
Right.
The conflicts are as old as time, right? You know, I got a problem with you, and you insulted my girlfriend. Period. The responses to the offense are what seem to take it over the line.
Well, someone else shot me. Everyone just tweets me junk, but it's like what a lot of these businesses in L.A. Imagine, you're just running a business. They run a uniform. You sell uniforms, and you're in downtown or you're wherever. And all of a sudden, there's just tents and crap and syringes and junk. It's just everywhere, and you have like female employees. Everyone's got to walk on the street, and they're getting this crazy man. The guy who owns a business going, I had kids coming in here. A guy was masturbating like on the sidewalk. So he puts up a fence. He gets a temp fence to put down the sidewalk or a shrub or a potted plant or something. And of course, the city's on that. Like the city's like, hey man, you're going to you didn't pull a permit for this fence. This fence isn't permitted. You're going to have to pay $250. Of course, they're Johnny on the spot with the permits when the guy's trying to run a business. His sidewalk is literally filled with tents and fecal matter and syringes, and he's trying to run a business.
I saw a story. I'm sorry, Brian.
Oh, I was only going to say on that note, help me out here, guys, because I forget the term, but there's even like Twitter accounts that like document it. It's called like aggressive architecture, or it's called
where you put like a railing in the middle of a bench.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You put like little bumps like on like your cement.
That's
your
what
slab,
I said.
And it's like, well, I don't want people sleeping there.
I made a note that said, look, they put those spike strips on the cement rails so the guys can't do the skateboarding down it, and they take a park bench, they put a divider in the middle of it. This is a guy with a business owner. He would love if the city he pays a ton in taxes and property taxes. He would love it if the city did their job, but the city won't do their job. So at his own expense, he gets the potted plants and the shrubs and the fence, and he does his thing. And then the city shows up and goes, that's a violation.
To the point you made earlier, I saw a story the other day that in Los Angeles, the murder rate is down for a couple of years in a row. And the only area of the city where the murder rate is up is among the homeless population, homeless people being murdered. And then in more than 50% of the cases of murdered homeless people, the murderer is another homeless person.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, how could it go any other way? I'm sorry, Gina.
This is the video taken after he got beaten up, and it just kind of derails when he's talking to the guy.
Snitching on my life.
What?
Man, all right.
Why'd you hit him? Did he attack you first from the self-defense, or did you hit him?
Man, I walked down the street. The man approached me with a gun.
Where's his gun at?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Do you know where his gun is?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Young champ. I'm the leader of the motherfucker. Goddamn Navy SEALs. And the Army. And the Navy. I'm motherfucking President Trump. I'm the real fucking president.
Okay.
I'm right now. I'm out the leader of all the gangs. What happened?
Let me ask this. They have drunk driving, and you can get drunk driving for riding a beach cruiser drunk,
right.
And you can get for riding a horse drunk, and you can get public intoxication. All right, so if you're just fucking out of your bean and you're in public, isn't that grounds you'd be arrested for being out of your bean on booze? Why not be out of your bean?
He is handcuffed in that video, so something may have happened after. But his brother Dimitri has said that he claims these are mental health issues. As far as the family knows, not drug related. The family has tried to, according to them, intervene over and over and over, and it's just not happening.
Yeah,
and it's not sticking.
Look,
I think that's
everybody who sleeps on the street has mental issues. That's it. It could be a 2 out of 10, but it's on the scale. You do not put your head down on the sidewalk if you don't have issues, and you have to have issues because you don't make it to 8. Let's just do our hypothetical. You know, the average age of these guys, it's not 17, it's 44. I mean, you had a run. You had wives and kids and family and friends and coworkers and whatever it is. You make it to the edge. And like when they do this thing where it's like a lot of these people don't have anywhere to go. Everyone you know, if they walked home, if everyone walked home tonight or drove home tonight, tried to get in the front door, it was locked, went out to the car, had the keys gone and had no wallet, you would still find a place to sleep tonight. You would have, because you have relationships. You know people. There's human beings. Even people that you wouldn't call your friend if you knocked on their door and said, hey man, it's freezing outside. I need to do a little sofa service. You'd make it the night. And then you could reboot. But the point is you make it to 40-something, 50-something, 60-something, and you don't have relationships. It's not like, oh, he lost his job. Yeah, everyone loses their job. What I'm saying is where's your buddy? Obviously, there's a huge mental component here because normally, as people progress through life, they pick up friends, they have relationships. I mean, think about the literally hundreds of people where places you could go there way outside of your family. Right. Outside your family. Community. Anyone in this building would let anyone else in this building crash out on their sofa or spend the night in their guest room or whatever it is.
In the movie theater.
Within reason, right. So, obviously, there's something going on. Now, even if it's not full-blown schizophrenia, it is something. You have led a life where you magically get to 50 and you know nobody.
Well, it seems obvious to me that whoever the 44-year-old you're talking about has burned so many bridges over so many times.
You're right. That's you know what I mean? But that's where the bipolar comes in, or that's where the drugs come in, or that's my argument. Right. You did something. There's something going on that there's nobody in your world.
May I?
Yes.
From the other side here, say that okay, granted, I think I know you're right that in a certain percentage there's extreme mental illness or emotional illness, mental disease. But why, when we talk about those folks, do we say things like they burned their bridges? If they are ill, if there is a chemical imbalance in their brain, if they're sick, we would certainly not say that about someone with heart disease.
No, what I'm not saying they severely schizophrenic people burn their bridges. Severely, I have my brother-in-law's this way. And he's been this way since 19. Kicks in at 19. He's probably 60 now. He's needed help his entire life. Unemployable. It's a crazy thing. 1 minute you're at the top of your class at CSUN going for your engineering degree, and the next thing you know, you're screaming in the middle of the night. And you're seeing things, and he's unemployable. He cannot function. But his family has circled the wagons, and they make sure he gets his medication, and he lives above the garage of his younger brother house, Dean, out in like Simi Valley, where everyone chips in, everyone takes shifts, everyone takes care of Dave. So I get it. What I'm saying is there's a lot of argument that a lot of these people don't have problems. They simply are sleeping on the street. My argument is you do have a problem. If you made it to 44 and the factory closed down and 2 nights later you're on the street, you do have a problem.
You're right. The image itself makes that point.
Yeah, well, this one for sure. Yeah. All right, so whatever, Gina.
Well, here's a happier story.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow, Mazel Tov.
He's on the street too?
He is quite off the street, quite off Virgin Avenue.
Him and Aaron Hernandez went different directions
from that Florida team
after college.
By the way, that Netflix docuseries is great. I started. I'm in episode 2.
How can it not?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Although, of course, now there's headlines saying it's very hard on Odin Lloyd's family, and how could they make this? And I get that too. But as just watching the doc, it's very, very riveting. Tim's married, 32 years old. He took a vow of celibacy, if you remember. He wed Miss Universe 2017, Demi Leigh Nell Peters, in an intimate sunset ceremony in Cape Town, South Africa. The former Virgin quarterback tells People magazine, quote, "I've been waiting my entire life for someone special who I could spend the rest of my life with."
He's going to go off like, those science fair chicks where they take like the white vinegar and they got the seltzer bottle with the
volcano
with the
explosion.
Yeah, they put the goggles on and they
everyone take a step back
and they just boom.
Some explosions have proved to be worse than others in that environment.
Yeah, so he says, "I'm now marrying Demi. I can't wait to see what the future holds. All my dreams have come true. 100% worth the wait." A few years back, another Miss Universe, Olivia Culpo, reportedly broke up with Tebow because he wouldn't have sex with her.
Not a story you hear every day.
No, it's not.
No. So is that 2 Miss Universe or like a Miss World and a Miss Universe?
That's 2 Miss Universe.
Making him Mr. Galaxy.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
He's a
Trump
real
of a
hot
type.
find. Yeah.
Most of us will make it to 75 without fucking 1 Miss Universe winner.
Yeah.
Yet.
Let alone 2.
Let
In your
alone
early
he's with
30s.
2.
And they
That's right.
both won. I mean, to be a competitor, they always, watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
Also, it's got to be weird when you're trying to set him up. Like, oh, she's a beauty. She was Miss Atlanta. that's sweet.
Yes,
That's cute.
You're into that. You trade him
Into
down.
that. Yeah. Do they even... I now feel we're at the point where if you're a chick and you're above an 8.5, you could just call yourself Miss Universe winner 2013, and like no normal person would be able to call you out.
That's right.
I would have to say you're right. I would even bring the number down from 8.5 because I do watch. Obviously, I don't watch many movies, but I do watch these beauty pageants.
Right.
I am telling you what I'm seeing today as the air quotes winner is. Just looking at it, even muted, is very different than what the winner.
Well,
it's absolutely,
this is the unintended consequences of focusing on the mind.
Well, of course.
The talent competition.
And eliminating the bikini competition.
And by the way, the verdict was in when they had that one. It was Trump. I think it was Trump's thing. Show them a map and see what happens. It'll be great. Like they'll give you great geographical responses. And the one is saying, the Iraq, and it's
right.
like, okay,
and such as.
All right,
I love it.
The
such
game's
as
over.
the Iraq.
Yeah, such as the Iraq, and she said
They don't have maps.
that
there.
was the solution. That was the problem. At least was more maps.
I want one of them to be like ballsy enough to go like, all right, fine. I butchered mine. Mario Lopez, let me ask you, the Electoral College really convinced me that we should get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Changed my mind.
Because Mario's fucking face just goes white, right? Like,
I think that's great. I mean, I was watching from the booth, and that one really, I don't like the popular vote thing, but what Mario was like so caught off guard, but he's a great guy. One of the great Latino guys. I mean, they're really
super articulate. He's clean.
Absolutely. He's what you really want.
That's what you want.
That's what you want because
Not one of those MS-13ers.
They're not all bad. I mean, they're not all bad.
They're not all
No,
bad.
they're not
I
all-
never said they were all bad.
Some of them are rapists.
Well, look, some are rapists and
Right.
murderers. Some
Right.
will shiv your grandmother.
Right, but
Well,
not Lopez.
Not Lopez. I mean, he just wants to tell you what Scarlett Johansson had for dinner, and that I think
right.
is pretty harmless.
And that's all. And if they were all like him, you wouldn't have to build that wall.
If they all were, but they're not.
Right.
They're not all like him. They are very, very bad, despicable people. Some of them are great people.
They're great.
Like Mario.
Like Mario.
Mario's a
Great
great guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
All right, one more, Gina.
All right. Well, every year starts off with a new viral trend, which is always bizarre and kind of gross and, going to grocery stores and licking ice cream and putting it back and all that stupid stuff. Ugh. Well, we already have a new one. 2020 ticked off with the newest challenge.
The notion, it was kind of funny. We did the Tide Challenge where you basically destroy your own innards.
Yeah.
And then we turned outward with it. Now you're fucking up my Haagen-Dazs. Like, what's going on?
I am nostalgic for the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes.
I like this. Let's see how many co-eds we can get in a VW.
Hey, now you're talking.
Now we're talking.
Or a phone booth.
Or a phone booth. There we go.
So the newest challenge on TikTok, this is very unlike what you just said, involves one person lying down and opening their mouth. Milk and cereal are poured in their mouth. The person holds it in their mouth instead of swallowing it, though most of them kind of just spit it up like a volcano. But if you can hold it in your mouth, then someone else gets a spoon and eats it out of your mouth like a bowl. Many people on TikTok took this challenge, including YouTube creator, apparently, Bretman Rock. Here's an example of one that actually worked. I think this will pass your lasagna test, but I don't know. I mean, it's stupid. It's kind of gross.
So is that a gal?
A gal's on the table. A guy is pouring a box of, cornflakes or something into her mouth. She's just laying there. Then he's going to grab the lactate, the milk. She's holding it all in her mouth as best she can. He grabs a spoon. He fishes a couple of flakes out. And
I would like to.
There he goes.
I would like to string together a 2-hour montage of this and every Gallagher concert ever filmed, and then bring it to Ethiopia and go.
That's what we think of food.
Here's our relationship with your biggest problem.
Yeah.
But nobody likes America anymore. They don't like us, and that's the problem.
Notion that half the world is starving out,
Yeah.
and we're just looking
Playing
for
games.
new ways to fucking throw away food.
Yep, that's right.
All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
I'm not braggadocious.
That was the news with Gina.